I never knew what freedom was until I saw you lose yours.
Welcome to a special edition of the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio program, coast to coast and border to border on iHeartRadio today. Tune in, iTunes, Radio Loyalty, Stitcher, and of course, the brand new Jiggy Jaguar app available in the App Store, jiggyjaguar.us. You can stream the show live, 24/7 replay, exclusive news and programming information. You can also watch live video right now as we are live from the studio. We've got a guest coming up here in just a few moments. He's going to be part of a big show Monday night at the Rusty Needle, which is this evening. And we'll talk to him here in just a few moments. Also, thanks to our friends and folks that are listening to us on 50-plus AM FM stations across the country and around the world. iHeartRadio, as I mentioned. And quick little update. We're going to be doing our Live from Salina television show on the 20th of October. And I spoke with, I want to make sure I get this guy's name right. He's going to get on a plane and fly here, which is amazing. We are. It's going to be our political show. Due to the fact that we'll be about 2 weeks away from the election, and Eric Paul Lee is going to be with us. He is the commissioner, the executive director of the Free Speech Coalition, which he will be on Access TV with us on the third Thursday of this month. And that will be fun because if anybody knows anything about our friends and fans over there at Access TV, we've had a lot of issues with freedom of speech in previous administrations over there. So it should be fun. Eric Paul Lee will be with us here in a couple weeks. And this week also on our program, we're going to be talking with a bunch of different people throughout the week. We have posted our Sunday radio program stuff over there at kjagradio.com. We have our 2 interviews. The one that we did with the 288 podcast, the hosts Draven Starr and Matt Slayer from the porn industry, talking about the Vote No on 60 out in California. And then we also talked with the adult advocacy group. I want to make sure I get that right. They are basically advocating that everybody vote no on 60 because it's essentially legalizing pervs. That's essentially what we're doing. We're gonna give anybody and their brother the right to sue the porn industry for anything at all. And then you can get their addresses and their names and all sorts of things, so we can basically have legalized porn stalking, which will be all sorts of fun if if that becomes a law out in California. But today on our broadcast, we've got Mr. Matt Wall with us. How are you, sir?
I am good, sir.
Now there is You've had an interesting trip into Kansas. You hit a skunk.
I ran over a skunk.
You ran over a skunk on the way here, which is never good. What else have you done?
I smelt the skunk the whole way here on top of that. But I was in Salt Lake City, and I got to do I sang karaoke, which was weird. I haven't done that in like... Air Supply song duet with a buddy, so that was weird. And then I did
awesome.
Colorado Springs yesterday, and I was supposed to go to Sioux Falls today, and that fell through. And now I'm here because stuff works out. Is there a profanity?
No, you can say whatever the hell you want because the stations that carry us live, if they have an issue with it, they will dump out and come back later. And the people that don't have an issue with it, they don't have an issue with it.
Well, then
Hell, you just heard. I talked to porn stars yesterday on this show. I don't think the profanity thing is going to be a problem.
Penis is a clinical term.
So it was. You're also a pro wrestling fan, I understand, and we'll be talking about some pro wrestling a little bit later on. I'll have to find out if you're down with Broken Matt Hardy in this whole TNA thing that's been going on, or if you're just a WWE fan and that's all you are. Well, we'll find out though.
We'll keep you hanging.
With because cousin Chris, who used to be on Jiggy Jag TV, and then he was on this. He was on a radio show for off and on for back and forth. He said there's two kinds of professional wrestling fans. There's WWE fans, and then there's professional wrestling fans. Professional wrestling fans are the people who watch New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor and JCW, although he doesn't consider JCW a wrestling organization. But
there's a lot of stipulations in this.
it's like I said, it's a weird place that you're here. We're going to be chatting about wrestling today as well. Now, how did you get started doing this music thing? How did that come about for you?
I've been doing this ever since I was like 14-ish. But and then I was doing acoustic stuff, and then it was really dark, so I got kind of pushed into a band, and so for like 15 years I was in this like punk band called Creeperson.
Yes.
And I had the Creeperson stage name. Then I
Creeperson.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
I started making music.
Were there T-shirts?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I made movies and did a bunch of that stuff under that name, and then I just got tired of depending on other people for everything.
Yes.
Whether it was filmmaking in a band, whatever.
That's part of the reason why we built this studio, is because we got tired of relying on other people.
It's just like, people let you down. And if you let yourself down, that's your own fault. But like, if you let people let you down, it's your fault. So do something about it. It's kind of how I've always felt. And so I just kind of got tired of being this other person for years.
Yeah.
And just wanted to kind of go back to being me, because I had never been me before.
That's
So
awesome.
it's kind of a fun thing.
So you're out on the road. Tell me a little bit about besides the skunk and singing Air Supply karaoke. What's been some of your other adventures you've been on?
Honestly, the biggest adventure for me this time has been, this is the first time I've been on the road. I'm from Southern California.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've been on the road by myself for more than like a weekend. So
Wow.
it's just like, I've been having a lot of time to just sit and think, because I don't get that a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is like the most boring road story ever, but the isolation's been amazing. I did think some guy was going to shoot me at a gas station because it was just really far off the freeway, and there were all these little painted signs that kept telling me to turn. It's like gas. And I kept going and going and going and going. And I thought for sure I was going to die. And that's just because I have constant dread thing. But yeah.
Well, you know,
That's
it
what happens.
you haven't died yet.
Yeah.
You're you're gonna be out at the Rusty Needle this evening. This is gonna be a hell of a deal. What kind of things can we expect from this evening?
Oh, it's just, if you like, and this is another topic to talk about, but like, it's just really dark, grim America. You know, it's like, what, I don't want to start getting on a high horse and everything, but just like traditional country music was dark. It was scary. It had a lot of, I don't want to say evil, but there was like a lot of badness around it, you know, because
Yes.
back
Not so much negativity.
yeah,
Just,
yeah. It's just that people wanted to, I mean, with the Great Depression and everything, like, people wanted to hear about people who were worse off than them, kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it's like the whole, like why people watch Jerry Springer and stuff like that. But it seems like now people are more interested in relating to country music, so it's like, I drink Pabst Blue Ribbon out of a can, and I got a truck. And everyone's like, yeah! This is my music! And it's like,
That's my kind of
I
music.
don't want to relate, I want to, like, feel, you know? It's like, I don't know.
You want to just be there.
Yeah, I
Kind
don't
of
wanna, I
thing.
don't want to be complacent with someone marketing to me through a pop country song without me knowing it, kind of thing. Like, there's stories, and they're dark, so it'll be kind of grim. But I'm kind of promoting this, like, 31 Days of Halloween thing I'm doing right now, too. I'm releasing a new song every day.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And they're all, like, kind of horror Halloween-themed kind of thing. So.
That's pretty neat. So, people can get those through your website, I'm assuming? Or?
Oh, yeah, or my Bandcamp. But yeah, if you just go to
IHateMattWall.com. Okay.
That's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
So you've got that. Now, some of these songs. How long have you been doing this? When did you decide? Hey, I'm going to start releasing a song every day.
Oh, on the 1st.
That's cool.
So it's just like the 1st through the 31st for the Halloween thing, and then at the end I'll put them all together. But the individual singles, some of them are going to have more than others. But yeah. So, but I mean, I've been doing this. A lot of the songs I'm still playing are songs I wrote like in '98.
Yeah.
So I've been coming in and out of the acoustic thing for very many years.
How do people respond to your acoustic stuff? Is it do they like that better than the full Magilla, or is it?
It's so hard to tell because like ever since I was like 18, I wanted to be a country singer, but like
That's
the
cool.
Country like establishment, I guess. Whenever I would go to the country clubs in like Southern California, they're like, yeah, you're really too gothy, too dark, like. And then I would go to like a goth club, and like, yeah, you're way too country, like this is not gonna work. So
This is
like
not gonna
whole
work.
thing, but like when I do the Creeperson stuff, it's very accessible. It's like, oh, it's like the Misfits or the Ramones. That makes a lot of sense. But then I don't want to be the other Misfits. You know, like,
Yeah. You don't want to.
I want to be the
Yeah.
first me, not the 19th that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good.
You're right. I don't want to be the 19th that guy.
But like
That's perfect.
There was this folk society thing in Pasadena, and
Yeah.
it puts shows on a lot, and so I wanted to get in on that. And the guy's just like, "You're just way. It's just relentlessly grim. Like, yeah, we can't do that." And I'm like, "That's like the best
Wow,
quote ever." So I took
really?
the quote and put it on my website, and I'm sure he doesn't want that up there, but like, because he wasn't paying me a compliment, but I was like, "Oh, that's a very nice compliment from a very respected man in this industry." So,
I had a and it's funny that you bring up the thing of he gave you that and you ran with it. It wasn't a compliment. I had a friend of mine fairly recently, a guy that I lift weights with. He goes in and out of being shape. I don't know what the deal is, but he walked into a convenience store one time, and the guy's like, I don't know, almost 7 feet tall, but he is so terribly out of shape. It's ridiculous. And he bumped into some guy was leaving, and the guy goes, "Wow, you're kind of a big guy." And he goes, Well, thank you." And he goes, "It wasn't a compliment." Kept walking. But this dude tells the story all the time. He didn't care it wasn't a compliment.
like you're kind of.
So that whole thing of you saying, yeah, he said something, but it really wasn't much of a compliment. But I'm glad you're running with it.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
awesome.
I mean, it's kind of like what. I mean, I'm sure people said that about the Carter family, but then they would like do like a gospel song at the end of it. Like, oh, okay, I guess that works. Yeah.
That's awesome. Matt Wall with us today here on our world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio program, coast to coast and border to border on TuneIn, iTunes, Radio Loyalty, Stitcher, and, of course, the brand-new Jiggy Jaguar app available in the App Store, jiggyjaguar.us. You can stream the show live, 24/7 replay, exclusive news and programming information. Also you can listen to our podcast or our social media, everything inside of the app. So you have no reason to even leave our app unless you are done corresponding with the show, obviously. Now, Matt Wall is with us today. He's going to be part of a big show at the Rusty Needle this evening. Now, what do you have for us first here, my friend?
This is River of Lost Souls. It's like my go-to opener. It's about a threesome that went horribly wrong. It's like
Okay.
a murder ballad about an awful.
Well, you know, you're in the right town, because they do love their swinging here. So
Sick.
so threesomes are that's definitely one that would get over with the crowd.
That's good.
So I'll leave you to it.
All right. In the rain, when just you face some my hateful things I must face. And the sun shines on a brand new day. So my evil feelings go away. Go away. In the blood it flows, trickle into my toes, from my death blow in which I'm bestowed upon those skulls of the girls who didn't do what they were told. And I'm blood in my clothes from their shattered bones, and they lost their glow when I lost control. The bodies I disposed down on the river road, lost souls. Yeah. In the rain we've just you faced, so my hateful feelings I must pass. And redemption is a phony thing, with a guilt before it burns and stings, and it stings. In the blood it flows, trickle into my toes, from my death blow in which I bestow upon those skulls of the girls who didn't do what they were told. And I'm blood in my clothes from their shattered bones, and they lost their glow when I lost control. Bodies I disposed down on the river road, lost souls. Yeah. In the rain we've just you faced. In the rain we've just you faced.
Fantastic. That is pretty amazing, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
You, that's a hell of a voice, I'll have to say. I didn't expect that voice to come out of that guy.
Out of this guy.
Yes, it's amazing.
'Cause he talks like a funny guy.
It's Matt Wald. He's with us today here on the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio program, coast to coast and border to border on TuneIn, iTunes, Radio Loyalty, Stitcher, and he's going to be part of a big show tonight here at the Rusty Needle Sports Bar in Hutchinson, Kansas, and he's joining us today for a little bit of time to chat about music, and then, of course, also we're going to chat pro wrestling here in a few as well. And you've been going up and down the highways and the byways. What's been some of the interesting things you've ran into along the way? Because you've been to Utah and all sorts of places.
Utah's really weird. I don't know if you've been to Utah, but their highway signs, it's a beehive, and their cops have like beehives on their cars, and it was really like I just didn't get it, and so I was asking about it. And they're like, yeah, because like worker bees work really hard and just like mindlessly do everything for the community for the greater good. And I was like,
wow,
horrible.
That's kind of like one of those, your children belong to the
It's like
state,
the
they don't belong to your
yeah,
parents, kind of
It
thing.
just sounded so
Wow.
like Resident Evil or Silent Hill or just something like bad. It was just weird.
Yeah,
But
that's
Utah's actually beautiful. Like, I wasn't expecting, like, you know how everywhere you go, when you see like just like the weeds and the grass and the
Yes.
green, and it's all like kind of like a gold color. There it's like pure blonde, like baby blonde, and it's just like ridiculous for as far as you can see when it's there. It's just like little things like that were kind of cool. The Uber drivers take you to drive-throughs when you're drunk, so that was cool. That was a fun little bit of Salt Lake City.
the Uber drivers.
Colorado. Oh, Wyoming. There's absolutely nothing in Wyoming.
I felt that way about New Mexico when we went out to
New
Vegas.
Mexico's bad too.
New Mexico, you drive through there and you're like, what is their industry? What is going on here? Because all the houses look like trash. It's like, what are you
It's just
going on here?
Like, you never know how far a long drive is. Like going from Oklahoma City to Phoenix is one of the most like you have no idea how to keep time. Like you try to follow
You
the
have no
sun in
idea
the
how to
sky
keep time.
because there's just nothing there. It's just forever nothing. So it's
That's
kinda
awesome.
Good times.
Matt Wall with us today. He's going to be part of a big show at the Rusty Needle this evening, Monday night. If you're listening to us live on a replay, you'll have to just check out Matt Wall's website, IHateMattWall.com.
Yes, you do.
And when we go over there, what do you have available for people?
Oh, I got the last new Matt Wall CD. It's called Killin', and it's just a bunch of songs about murder, which is fun. And then I have a lot of the Creeperson stuff, CDs and vinyl, and the solo Creeperson stuff I did, which is kind of what I'm still playing. But also, I hate Matt Wall shirts, I hate Matt Wall wristbands, I hate Matt Wall pins, I hate Matt Wall stickers, all sorts of stuff. And if you sign up for my mailing list, I'll give you a bunch of stuff, because that's just a nice thing to do when people hate you.
You got to give them stuff. That's how that works. It is the fabulous Matt Wall. He's with us today here on our broadcast, and he joins us live, coast to coast, to border, and 50-plus AM FM stations across the country and around the world today. And later on this week, we will talk with Jeffrey Stevens, I believe. He will be on our Tuesday edition with Don Mazzella, Dan Perkins, and IQ Al Rizzoli. And, of course, lots of other stuff going on this week as well. Now, besides the music thing, what are some of your other interests that you do?
Let's see here. I really like collecting the little pink muscle men from the 80s, like the Kung men from Japan.
Are you talking about the... God, what the hell were they? Because I had a whole bunch of those.
Millions of
and I had like the I don't know if it was the
wrestling ring or whatever.
I had the wrestling ring whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they had an offshoot. That same company made monsters.
Yeah.
And they had the mountain that you could hang on the wall with all the little monsters in it. I had that.
Well, that's awesome.
So
That's really cool.
so you collect the little monster guys.
The
That's
little
awesome.
pink wrestler guys. And
Yes.
They're all like based off like Terry Funk and Ric Flair. So that's kind of cool. But, so I like those. I like 1940s through 60s detective pulp novels. So I find those and snatch them up whenever I can find them. I'm really into Carter Brown right now. I like that a lot.
Well, hey, while you're here in Hutch, you might want to take advantage. There is Hastings. The company Hastings, of course, is closing all their stores all over the country, and we have a Hastings here up on 30th, and they are getting rid of all their books at like 80% off. So if you're you're a big reading fan, you might want
to run over there. So.
Are you thinking of the Muscle guys from the 80s?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what I was thinking, because I was like,
There
I
was
know what
like
they're called, so I had to Google it.
I can't remember exactly. I think there was like 180 made for the U.S. market, but in Japan they were called Kabuki men, and they were made out of erasers, like rubber erasers.
Yeah.
And there were like hundreds upon hundreds, and they're from this manga that was in Shonen Jump or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I started touring all the mangas from like the 70s through the 80s to follow their little adventures of wrestling throughout the galaxy. It's
Yes.
amazing. It's so
Yes, the muscle guys. I had a whole bunch of those. Had ring. You could put them on the deal, and you could do the back and forth. And yeah.
And if you put the claw hand in there, you want it come out. So you just win all the time.
Yeah.
You couldn't knock them out, or you just stuck. So that's some cool cheating. I was into He-Man a lot. I had a bunch
Loved He-Man.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people will.
Dude in furry underwear with a bowl cut.
I'm sure a lot of people that are listening are going to hammer me for this, but I like the He-Man movie
Oh, with Dolph Lundgren.
with Dolph Lundgren. And the guy who played Skeletor. I've always said every other sci-fi, like Darth Vader and all them, they're all pussies compared to that Skeletor guy.
Yeah, that Skeletor was hardcore. And is that you have like a little what is his name? Gildor.
I've got actually that's just a treasure troll,
I know,
but I do but I will have to say Gildor because I've recently my fiance loves Netflix. She's all about Netflix.
Who doesn't?
I have gotten on Netflix, and I'm like, I can't find any of the things that I would normally watch on Netflix. The He-Man movie was not on there. Dark Man was not on there. The movie, in my opinion, that made Liam Neeson's career. The Hardcastle and McCormick from the 80s, not on there. And I'm like, what's this Netflix? It's worthless to me.
I have Hulu because I watch a lot of British stuff too, but I went and watched all of Hunter again, and it's amazing. As an adult, as a kid, I was like whatever, but as an adult, damn, Fred Dryer, he could really kill a dude. That was okay.
So when the He-Man movie came on Netflix, I had to make her watch it, and I'll tell you, just the fact that they made some of those characters for that movie, just exclusively for that movie. They didn't pull hardly any of the characters from the actual He-Man universe
Well, do you know how
into the movie.
Oh, wait, no, that's the second. How that? Because you know how Masters of the Universe 2 ended up becoming Cyborg with Jean-Claude.
Oh, really?
Because the first one tanked so bad, they're like, we need to scrap all of this and put someone else in it. But yeah, so if you watch Cyborg right after you watch Masters of the Universe, you'll kind of get like a continuation, kind of.
I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to do that.
Dolph Lundgren, that's not Jean-Claude. Damn it.
And then years later, of course, they were in Universal Soldier.
Boom.
And then, of course, there was I always loved back when Blockbuster was around.
Yeah.
I always thought it was so funny because you had Universal Soldier. Then you had Universal Soldier 2, which was the one that didn't have Van Damme in it. And then they came back and made another Universal Soldier 2 with Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren, and Goldberg. And it's
What's that one called? Is it just called 2?
Yeah, it's just Universal Soldier 2, The Return. And I always thought it would be hilarious to get inside the mind of a Blockbuster clerk, because he's going over to stock these movies and he's like, how do I line these up? Because realistically, Universal Soldier 2 was number 2.
Yeah.
But in chronological order, number 2 was the one with Goldberg. So it's like,
So ridiculous.
it's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, I was an assistant manager at a Blockbuster, and I realized that people who work at Blockbuster actually have no concept of movies or anything.
Yeah.
They just know where the boxes are on the
Yep.
shelf. So,
There still is, apparently, according to some reports when the Olympics were going on in Brazil, besides all the weird things that were going on down there, they still have Blockbusters in Brazil.
with VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, it's like a whole nother world, brother.
Especially with all the fun tranny stuff that goes on down there, too.
Yes! All the T-girls, dolls with balls, whatever you want to call them. Hey, I'll tell you, when we went to the Adult Video News Awards in Vegas, they were the nicest, most friendly folks. They helped us with hooking up interviews. They introduced me to people that I didn't know. Transsexuals are fantastic. That's going to get taken and sent somewhere, but that's going to get isolated and put somewhere.
Hey, let's use that as a quote for the website.
That's right. Transsexuals are fantastic. I always used to tell everybody that that my goal in life was to date a transsexual. And they'd be like, what, you're gay? No, I'm not gay. I just want to hang out with transsexuals. There's enough rumors about me anyway floating around. I might as well contribute to the
Contribute to the rumor mill. You control the story.
That's right.
Just know that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, what do you have next for us as far as tunage is concerned?
Well, since we're talking about T-girls,
Oh, do you have a T-girl song?
this is just a song about cheating.
Oh, okay. Because
I
I
was
was
trying to
thinking,
do a good
I was thinking,
segue.
here we go.
Yeah.
I'm just like setting you up to bat. I'm like, you're like, well, speaking of T-girls, I got this next song we can do. I'm like, okay, well, let's go for
this
it.
is on my Folk Songs for the Dead album. But yeah, so left to in the cold. I left her in the snow. They now threw her in a deep down to out on the dark and desolate winding road where she will never be alone. 'Cause she left me gates and rats down on her bones. 'Cause she will cheat no more with the people I know. And she could have been with me at home, but she will cheat out me no more. She could have been out snuggled up, until up and home. Oh, with that vibrator that she owns it. But she will cheat on me no more. So let this be a lesson to the girls who fuck around when their man ain't home. 'Cause if it's might he'll throw you in a deep, dark, good hope. Down on no dark and desolate windy road where you will never be alone. 'Cause you let me get in rats down on your bones, and she will cheat no more with the people that know. And she could have been with me at home, but she will cheat out me no more. She could have been outside up on with that vibrator that she owns, yeah. Oh, she will cheat out me no more. Cheat on me no more. Cheat on me no more.
Fantastic.
Bam, chick, take that. You're in a hole. That's what the guy would say if he was into giving himself props as he commits a crime.
Well,
Yeah.
that's amazing. We've learned a heck of a lot today.
Yeah.
So far on our broadcast.
Wieners.
we've learned about movies. We've learned about the fact that we have in common we like E-Man. Some of the other things going on tonight. Matt Walls, The Rusty Needle in Hutchinson, Kansas, live as live can get.
Boom shakalaka.
That's right. So an NBA Jam reference makes it into the show.
Yeah. Boom goes the dynamite.
That's right. Boom goes the dynamite. Now, besides some of the other things that you're involved with, who are some of your musical heroes and influences?
Oh, that's good. Like the Carter family and Johnny Cash were like the things that got me into country music, and I got into that from Social Distortion, and I got into that from MTV. So you blame me,
Okay.
I guess, but like Waylon Jennings, Hank Williams, the Misfits.
Did you see the Misfits recently had a reunion?
Yeah, and I hope they do an actual tour and not just 2 shows. That's ridiculous. But like, I really like Dark Throne is like my favorite black metal band. I love Cannibal Corpse, Chris Barnes, or Corpse Grinder. You know.
Wow.
Uncle Tupelo, Sun Volt, Jay Farrar, love Jay Farrar. Let's see here. I do dabble with some early Lady Gaga. Her new stuff is absolute crap, so let's not even talk about it. We had an awesome new Dark Throne song and a pretty awesome new Metallica song, and then Lady Gaga drops that turd, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, we were on a roll here. Metallica and Dark Throne put out songs that were okay. Like, how could she do this to
Okay.
us? So there was that. But honestly, Gillian Welch and David Rawlings are like my absolute favorite right now, and have been for a long time. But like the Harlan the Harvest album, Time the Revelator, and Hell Among the Yearlings, like those 3 albums are like in rotation with me, like all the time, like constantly. They're so amazing. Like those are just hands down. Oh, the Cramps, I love the Cramps. So there's that too. But yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Now, Matt Wall with us today. Check out IHateMattWall.com.
Do it.
That is the official website of Record. And live with us today, 38 minutes after the hour. Thanks for joining us, 39 minutes after the hour. Thanks for joining us here on our world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio program. Now, when you sit down and write your music, do you tend to write while you're out on the road, or do you do that when you're off tour? How does that whole process work for you?
It depends. Like with Creeperson, we did a U.S. tour in 2011, and I wrote an album while we were in the RV, and we recorded all the rough stuff while we were on the road. But then other times it just happens, and a lot of times I'll have a concept for an album, and all the writing for that album will be done within a very short period of time. And then it's very rare that I'll sit down and just write a song and then not do anything for a while. So
Okay.
I did write a song this morning. So excited about that.
Well, that's cool. So you are out there making it happen and getting things going.
Kicking booty and taking names. So they say.
Matt Wall with us today here in our broadcast, 13 minutes after the hour, and so let's get into the professional wrestling talk.
Boom.
Let's jump off the good foot and do the bad thing.
2 seconds. Who are the writers at WWE right now? How
I couldn't tell you. I know they're a bunch of Hollywood
freaking
people.
Stupid can you possibly be? I don't understand, just little things, little tiny things. The last 2 pay-per-views since the brand split
Tough.
have been, utter, the first one, that SmackDown one, that was so freaking hard to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I was so... Okay, let me just let you guys in on a little something here. If you have hometown boys in the opening freaking match to set the tone for the pay-per-view, they're supposed to win, especially if they're faces, because it gets the crowd excited and makes everybody excited to sit through the next 4 fucking hours of bullshit matches you're gonna show us. That doesn't make any fucking sense. I've never understood why they do that. And Vince McMahon hates hometown people.
Yes.
And he's a freaking prick for that. And I don't understand.
Yeah, you're gonna lose in your hometown. You're gonna be humiliated in your hometown. All that. He doesn't understand.
It makes me angry. That's just one of the small things.
One of the small things.
Why have they not pushed Dolph Ziggler? Why?
He's getting ready to head out the door.
Yeah,
he's done.
This little last hurrah where it's hey, we want you to be a big part of this by losing every fucking pay-per-view match.
That's right.
So it's gonna be awesome.
A lot of his issues have come because early on he criticized old Johnny Boy Cena.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Cesaro did the same thing.
Exactly.
Hey, guess what? We're gonna have a best of 7 thing, and when that doesn't work out to find the number 1 contender, because this brand split has actually made us not have any talent, we're gonna make you guys be a tag team. It worked for Kane and Daniel Bryan. Let's just recycle shit again. And I can't believe they're.
Well, and Cesaro's contracts I hear is getting ready to be up too, so he's getting ready to leave too.
Yeah. Everybody's out the door. So
Cody's left. He can't be Cody Rhodes, but he's Cody. Although the thing they did with TNA, I think is hilarious because he can't be Cody Rhodes, so they just go Cody and Brandy Rhodes. As Brandy can be Brandy Rhodes, Cody can't be.
TNA makes me sad a lot. I thought Bobby Roode was one of the most talented guys they had there.
Yes.
For a long time. Do you remember when Beer Money first broke up and he had that title run?
Yep.
That was seriously the most entertaining TNA was for me. And I think I was excited about Aces and Eights or whatever until
they took the masks off.
Yeah.
And it was just it was Knox and a bunch of guys from.
And it took forever to get that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
yeah, Bobby Roode and the thing that I've always about Bobby Roode is that at one point when Bobby Roode was a face, they really should have pulled the trigger and given him the belt. But I've read on various websites that the reason they didn't is because he got a bigger pop than Hogan at one of the pay-per-views.
See,
and Hogan was like, he's not ready, brother.
Hey, guess what, brother?
So
hey,
he didn't.
Why can't we get Roman Reigns over? I don't understand what's going on here. Well, let's see. If we turn him heel like we did with The Rock when everyone hated The Rock, maybe people will like him a little bit. Maybe people will get behind him. You know what we should do? Not do that. Let's shove him down people's throats a little bit more and see how that works. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
He's got the U.S. title now, so now he's he's slowly but surely getting into the old WCW Lex Luger spot where Luger always had the U.S. title.
Oh.
And
Good God. And the fans are so fickle. This is what I don't understand. When you would go to a wrestling show, no matter who it was, the fans cheered for the faces and booed the heels because that's what they were supposed to do.
That's right. It's like dinner theater. You're supposed to boo the heels and cheer the villain.
I don't understand. Like the last show I went to, like Big Show got a huge pop, and I was like looking around, going like, "Is this happening? Are people like excited to see Big Show right now? Oh my God, everyone's really excited to see Big Show," and it like totally like. I'm like, that is what they're supposed to do. And it's just this, ever since the whole Daniel Bryan, I think Daniel Bryan did more to hurt wrestling than to save it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say something controversial here.
Hey, as far as the whole Daniel Bryan thing goes, I never could get really behind the whole Daniel Bryan thing because I was never a big Daniel Bryan guy. But everybody and their brother is, oh my God, it's the greatest thing in the world. The only reason he got his push is because Punk left. Yeah. That's it.
And honestly,
Punk told Vince, see ya, I'm leaving. I'm going to go try my hand at this UFC stuff. That worked out well.
Oh, Jesus.
But,
no, like Daniel Bryan, I like him wrestling. But I think if you're going to hold a belt, you need to be able to hold a mic. And if you can't hold a mic, you need to get a manager.
Yeah.
And Daniel Bryan, for the longest time on the microphone, was like the most painful thing.
Yeah, he couldn't cut a promo.
He was like the head face of the company. And he's like, "Hey, everybody, I'm going to say things now." Like, it was just like, God, it's so painful.
Well, and the thing with Daniel Bryan is they did not want to push him.
Yeah.
They did not want to put him over. And then when they had the opportunity for him to be injured, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, he's got neck problems. And it's like no one would clear him to let him come back. He's got some sort of long-term contract, and the thing that has happened fairly recently is that when he was injured, they froze his contract. So it's not like it's ever going to, it's not like it could have run out, and he could have left. So
and then that's the
he's kind of stuck there until they figure it out.
With him and Shane, like they're like, it's not about the authority people, it's about the wrestlers. So every 2 seconds, Shane's gonna come out, and Daniel Bryan's like, "Is the camera on me? Okay, it's not about us. It's about these guys over here. The talent, damn it. Okay, do I look? Am I on the camera? Okay. They're on all the freaking time, and it's like, and that's the other thing I hate about WWE. We could talk about other promotions. The thing about WWE that makes me so mad is that they assume the fans are so fucking stupid and they won't remember something that happened like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yes.
Like,
yes.
Oh, okay. This is going on now. This is a thing. Like,
yeah, nobody's supposed to remember any of the old stuff.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's like so. Oh my God, it's so stupid. I don't even like. Oh, it makes me so mad. I get mad. Like I can't remember what pay-per-view it was, but I couldn't sleep. It might have been SummerSlam. After SummerSlam, I was just like, how did that happen? Like was it SummerSlam? I don't know. There was a really crap pay-per-view.
SummerSlam just went on and on and on, much like WrestleMania, on and on and on and on.
I mean, just like these last two, it's like hey, we're gonna like not have as much talent, so we're gonna put Kevin Owens in like an hour-long match because he's totally in shape for it. Hey, Kevin Owens, can you do us a favor? Drop Seth on his neck and his arm at the same time and try to like cripple him because you're too fucking tired. Oh, but by the way, I need you to jump up on the top rope and do some stupid trick. Oh, Kevin Owens,
I need you to do
really
some stupid
hair.
trick. That's awesome.
You should do headbutts because people with short hair could sell headbutts really good. That's like one of my like staples. If you don't have long hair, you do not headbutt because you look like a freaking idiot. That's why wrestlers have long, greasy hair to hide bad punches and hide bad headbutts. Gosh, if everyone could sell like Dolph and Seth, the world would be a better place.
The world would be a better place. That's right.
I'm sorry,
Now,
granted.
no, that's fine. That's fine. That's what we like here. We've got Matt Wall with us today. If you're just joining us, he will be at the Rusty Needle this evening.
Oh yeah, I'm a musician.
And he's a musician. But, and look at that. We've got people at the door, apparently. What is going on here?
Gosh,
Uh-oh.
it's the popo.
No, someo's been shot. I don't know.
My girlfriend's got a real bad abscess tooth, and if she don't go to a Prairie Star within the next 10, 15 minutes, she could die. Is there any way that if I gave you a couple bucks for
I have no fuel, brother. I don't have any way to get them there.
gas money,
I got no way to get them there. I'm doing a radio show, actually, right now.
everybody's done. Okay.
Yep.
I figured I'd ask.
All right, brother. Have yourself a wonderful day.
When I get my drums in, I'm going to come over here and teach you some John.
Well, we'll do some drumming.
And I got praying.
Jesus. Here we go.
For the wicked
This is something I forgot to explain to Matt Wall earlier.
Think I'll slip on down. Yeah,
Okay. That's enough. That's something else I forgot to explain to you because I didn't think we would have those issues. We have a thing on our Sunday radio program called the Open Door Policy. And the open door policy is anybody at any time can come through that door if we're doing a radio show and they can just... I've had things like that. I've had things like we had a woman at one point who lived in this area who she basically would just randomly show up over here and she'd co-host the show with us on Sundays. It was the weirdest thing. When I first moved in, not into this spot, but into the Swiss Army apartment over there, we had a bunch of rappers show up one time, and apparently there was a guy that was upstairs who was a racist, who threw eggs at them. It's just the way things are here, brother.
Now this is gonna sound awful, but if you're gonna attack somebody and hope that nothing bad happens to you, you need to use something lethal so they don't come back and hurt you. So throwing an egg at somebody is just going to agitate the situation. I don't know why people don't get that.
I don't know why they don't get it either. Well, I apologize for that minor interruption.
I'm sorry.
We are live.
I'm smoking a clove, so there's like this nice like clove smell that makes me think I'm a 15-year-old girl in high school again. Man, I haven't smoked a clove in a while.
It's a hell of a deal. Now, we were talking wrestling, which is kind of,
Boom.
in a way,
Just like this.
we have currently in the state of Kansas some active wrestling promotions, professional wrestling promotions. We have one that we do a lot of work with called TAZ. It's called Total Action Wrestling. And they are booked sort of similar to like an old school, like Memphis type. You know, they like their last show, they had Angel Medina, who used to be in the Baldies in ECW. He was there because he lives in Wichita. And he was there. And they were booking him, you know, like a big heel, you know, and they're going to start having people come in randomly and face him. Like Trevor Murdoch's going to be at this show coming up this weekend. And then they're going to start cycling people in and who's going to take on Angel type of thing.
Yeah.
Deal. And then we have
Who's next?
yes, type of thing, yes. Then ironically, Adam Pena and Mike Clares, who are at the Rusty Needle, ironically, where you're playing this evening, they have a wrestling promotion called I think it's Resistance Wrestling Federation, RWE. And they do a lot of their shows out of Newton, Kansas. And it's booked. They bring in various... Here we go. More interruptions. Who is this? We'll see who this is. You're live on the air, Marshall. What's up, sir?
How are you, sir?
Are you in Hutchinson, Kansas?
Yes, I'm in Hutchinson right now.
Okay, well, why don't you just swing on by the radio studio? I am sitting here interviewing Matt Wall, and we will just talk to you when we see you here in a few moments.
Okay, I don't know where the studio is at.
Okay, where you dropped me off the last time. Over on A Street.
A Street?
Over on A Street, across from the Zip Trip.
Okay.
I will just see you here in a few moments.
Okay, it'll probably be about 20 minutes.
That's fine. I'll just see you here in about 20 minutes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, appreciate it, brother. That's an Elvis impersonator, by the way.
Oh, nice.
He isn't the... God, you just run into it all today. Oh, my God. This is the greatest day.
You know, the only thing that I've never done that I've always wanted to do is be in professional wrestling. Like, I tried.
You could probably get a shot at Talk to Pena.
I want to be a manager.
Talk to Pena, they'd have you manage.
That'd be awesome.
They'd even do a deal, and we'll figure this out, where you come in, manage at the show, and then we'll do an after party at a local bar and you can play.
Nice. That'd be awesome. I tried to start my own thing in LA, and the wrestlers out there were kind of... I was trying to do like...
They have some strange things going on out there, because there's this thing I've been reading about, I think it's Los Angeles area, where they have they have this like underground wrestling Vice did a documentary on it. It's like adult professional wrestling. It's like they're doing like the
porn stuff.
Maybe
like that's kink. That's up in San Francisco. That's like what do you call it? What are they called?
Let me see if I can do a quick little Google search here. See if I can find that.
Surrenders the girl one.
Let's see here. I'll do a quick little search. I'll find it.
I'm not just like an avid, huge right arm porn connoisseur.
Now you're out there in L.A. What do you think of this condom law thing they're trying to pass? This Prop 60. We were talking about that yesterday with.
Condom law? I don't have cable anymore.
Basically, what it is there's this guy named Michael Weinstein who is trying to get elected as a porn czar. And what they're going to do, essentially, let me see if I can pull this up here, because this is quite interesting. Basically, what they want to do is, let's see, here we go. We'll read a little bit here. If passed, this ballot initiative will empower and incentivize any California resident to sue an adult worker when a condom is not visible in a film.
That's the fucking stupidest thing. So stupid.
And it claims to be about worker safety, but it really is about creating a new private right of action. Under Prop 60, California will become the first state in the nation to allow and incentivize any resident to sue a worker for how they do their job, creating the potential for a lawsuit bonanza that will fill up the course and sidestep a government agency costing California millions. They also, when you in this deal, if you sue somebody, they have to reveal their legal names and where they live. So this is going to open up for all sorts of pervs.
They're just going to move.
She's
going to move to a different state. I mean, most of it is done in Van Nuys anyway, and then the amateur stuff, like, I mean,
they're all talking about going to Vegas.
Yeah,
is what's going on.
It's ridiculous, but like, if they want to do that, then they also need to, if they're going to show intercourse in a film, they also need to show the girl like getting an unwanted pregnancy and having to talk to the guy about it, and then they're going to have a talk about it, whether they should keep the baby or not. Then she get taken to court for child support. Like, if they're going to do all of these stupid things, like, why are the people who are going to sue porn stars over a condom watching the porn in the first place? It's like, I'm not trying to be like gross or anything, but if I'm watching like a close-up shot of pornography, the last thing I want to see is a condom, because then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, consequences. Oh, this is awful. What if she has something? What if he gets her pregnant? What if? And then it's just like, okay, well,
you become a responsible porn watcher.
Yeah, like what the hell is that? It's
well,
a fantasy. It's
and
not
one of the other things that they want to do is they want to open this up to basically let these people, you can get stalking out of this whole thing, guys, and who want to go perv out on these chicks now know where they live.
Yeah, no. I mean,
all this.
Why don't we pass a law that says everyone could sue Jerry Brown for being a dick? That's cool.
Well, you can do that too.
For that,
The thing that I was talking about earlier was Hood Slam. Have you heard about this Hood Slam? Apparently this thing is in Southern California, I believe, is what they say. It basically it's in a warehouse in West Oakland.
Oh yeah, that's North California.
And I guess this guy wanted to do wrestling, but he was tired of the WWE, favoring the kids and all that stuff. So he got with this guy who had basically just a little auditorium. And they put a ring in there, and they set it up, and they have boozing and drinking, and guys are painted up, and people are getting hit, and it's crazy. And when you said California and wrestling, I thought, do you know about Hood Slam?
I was talking about porn wrestling.
See, that I didn't know. What's the deal with the porn wrestling? I gotta get up on this porn wrestling then.
I think it started off as like a Greco-Roman porn thing, where it's like the
Greco-Roman porn
wrestle, and then the guy, how you find out if you win or lose is if you could rape the dude or whatever. And so then they started.
That's a hell of a deal.
Girls, and they have strap-ons and stuff, and do a lot of fingering and face sitting.
Hey, whatever you got to do to get through the day.
Audience, and they have seasons of it and stuff. It's fucking.
There's a group of guys in Colorado. They actually came through fairly recently to the comedy show at the Needle. They do comedy / professional wrestling. What they do is they do pro wrestling, and they have comedians do the play-by-play. And it's like this deal in Colorado somewhere, and then they have.
Did you ever see the kaiju wrestling that was out of New Jersey?
Yes, kaiju. What is it? Kaiju Big Battle.
Yeah.
Kaiju Big Battle.
They have the fake towns.
Well, they have the little towns, and they do
Oh my god, that was brilliant.
They did. One of my best friends, Kenny Zombie Jones. We'll drop that reference.
Boom.
Kenny Zombie Jones wanted to be. He was living in Salina, Kansas. Actually, he was living with me in Salina, Kansas. He wanted to be a pro wrestler. And there was this other pro wrestling guy out of Wichita by the name of Lance Chafin, the Midwest Mangler, who was real good buddies with Brian Knobs and Hogan and all of them. He brought Knobs in to do a seminar in Salina. And Zombie went to the seminar, and Zombie's like a beanpole. He's like a bite-sized guy. He's really tall, but no shape to him. So he went to the seminar and, kind of messed around, and then they were just basically kind of just beating him up. So he decided, I want to do wrestling, but I don't want to do this crap. So he just started going to shows, and he'd take his gear, And he'd know people, and then he'd end up getting bookings. He'd, like, get in a battle royal. Or somebody wouldn't show up, they'd stick him in a tag match. Different things like that. Well, then it's all of a sudden he's traveling all over the country. He's meeting Tracy Smothers and Beautiful Bobby and all these guys. And so then he gets to be a pro wrestler. And he's a pro wrestler now. And Zombie is if Zombie wrestles with Pena's group, if we need to work on getting you to be a manager and have you do that, because
if I could get inside somewhere, the Dungeon of Doom's coming back, and it's going to be the best thing that ever happened. It won't be that crappy, weird Kevin Sullivan, like, what's wrong with his eyebrows, Dungeon of Doom. It's like, it's going to be evil and amazing. Like, my favorite wrestlers are either guys who could sell like a motherfucker, or whose gimmick is so effing amazing that like Kamala used to scare the shit out of me when I was Papa Shango was like my favorite. Like
Papa Shango was awesome.
He made Ultimate Warrior like ooze black. That scared me to death.
Papa Shango was awesome.
Oh, so
but Kenny got on a JCW show out at one of the Gathering of the Juggalos, and it was the year they had Kaiju Big Battle. And he said it was the craziest thing you've ever seen. Yeah. And all these juggalos, they did it like 3 a.m. And all these juggalos are all sitting there watching this. They don't really know what to do. But Kenny said it was just amazing.
There was that, like the big villain was like Dr. Cube. It was just a guy with like a box on his head, like way before Minecraft. And it's just brilliant.
Yeah, Kaiju Big Battle, and then There's been some other...
Shakira Pro is...
Shakira, yeah, oh my God. I can't tell you how many people I know. This is another Cousin Chris reference. Cousin Chris loves all the little indie companies. He loves Chikara, he loves ROH, he loves all these little indie companies. When WrestleMania was in Texas this last year, we had thought about doing a road trip to go. But Chris didn't want to go to any of the WWE stuff. He was going to go to all the other little indie promotions over down there. He wanted to go to ROH and Chikara and all this. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, like,
you go for Access, you go for the Hall of Fame, you go to WrestleMania, you go home.
Honestly,
maybe you go to ROH, but...
If WWE could actually put together a thought-provoking storyline about anything, I would watch 4 hours of bullshit to watch a 15-minute segment.
I'll tell you, that whole thing with the 3-hour show on Monday nights, I can't do it.
I don't do it. Since they
can't
started
do it.
doing that, I don't even fucking watch. I read the recaps and watch the pay-per-views. That's all I fucking do. Because they're going to show me 90 fucking times everything that happened during the show anyway, and then try to sell me some shit, which I don't want.
Yeah.
But, good lord.
I look at that roster and I'm like, you could do so much here. And they're starting to do some stuff. I'm glad that AJ is the champ and not being buried. Because I had visions of him being buried.
That's the funny thing. I'm upset about it. I'm the controversial. I hate Dean Ambrose as champion, but I also hate the Universal Championship.
I think the Universal title reminded, when they unveiled that, everyone's like, it looks like Eva Marie's belt. The first thing that I thought of when I seen that was the old school WCW TV title that Arn used to hold. The red belt. And I'm like, what's the TV title doing there?
The belt doesn't bother me as much as...
Like, the name is stupid.
Well, it's just like, we had the world title that was the most prestigious thing ever. Oh, but now it's not because it's on SmackDown and we have a bigger belt. So we're going to give it to Finn Balor because he's hurt so he could drop it. So we could say for future marketing that he was the first ever Universal champ. That is the dumbest crap in the world. I'm losing my mind. AJ Styles is a amazing technician.
Yes.
I absolutely hate everything else he does. It was the same way when he was in TNA. Do you remember that awful parenting story?
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, this it's one thing when the story's bad, but when they're delivering it, super.
I didn't like it when him and Flair were together and they had Fortune. You know, one of me and Chris's favorite promos that we talk about. We used to talk about all the time before, of course, he got married and got rid of all of his friends. But that's a different story for a different day. Was Ric Flair's promo in the back of TNA where he's standing there and he doesn't realize how many dudes are in Fortune. He's like, I got Fortune, the best 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in the business.
Well, that's
like,
how every
you don't
stable
even know.
feels, dude. Like, and it's like,
I didn't even know how many dudes are in his stable.
how did you
It's fantastic.
not learn from every failed stable? Hey, everyone wants to be in the stable? Cool. For the next, 9 months, we're going to put everyone in the stable. It'll be awesome.
Bullet Club's becoming the exact same way. The minute they put Captain New Japan in there, I'm like, well, that's it for the Bullet Club. Because
So stupid.
they put Jeff Jarrett in there, I thought, well, they have to put him in there because they're doing this Global Force thing. I get it. He's not going to be there long. And then all of a sudden they put some other guy in there, and I'm like, who's this guy? And he was just some local worker to Japan. And then all of a sudden I read the last pay-per-view that New Japan Pro Wrestling did. All of a sudden, Captain New Japan is in the Bullet Club. I'm like, Captain New Japan? I thought he was just some kind of idiot. Why is he in the Bullet Club? AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, Kenny Omega, Captain New Japan. What?
And then that's the other thing, too, that really bums me out, because when Gallows was in, the Straight Edge Society, I loved him. I'm like, oh, man, they need to give that guy a push.
Yep.
And now it's I think he's such a freaking tool. He just looks, he lumbers around like Nash with bad knees. It's so sad, dude. It's so just, ugh.
So then we have this whole thing in TNA. WWE's going to buy it. Billy Corgan's going to buy it.
WWE, I don't know if they're going to have to buy it because they're just picking all their talent. I was shocked.
They want the tape library. That's really all they want.
But what tripped me out, when the first TNA guys started coming over, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't think they were...
And it used to be in WWE, and this is something we used to talk about all the time. If you went to TNA and you came to WWE, you had that stench of TNA on you.
Yeah. Totally.
Ron Killings, Christian. But now all of a sudden they come over there and they funnel them through NXT and it's fine.
Unless you're
Well,
oh, hey, AJ, we're just going to put the belt on you in a couple months. Sit back and let your hair look awful.
I think AJ might, and I don't know, there's been some rumors that AJ had a push written into his contract. So he couldn't get buried. And I'm like, if that's the case, why didn't Anderson and Gallows do the same thing?
I don't know if that... I don't know if they're trying to, appease TNA to try to, go, see, look, we like TNA. We're giving Samoa Joe and AJ belts. Yay. You know?
And then James Storm. I'm going to go back to TNA.
Yeah.
They're going to give me a better deal.
Well, here's the deal. I am one of the biggest Jeff Hardy fans in the world. And when I saw how... The thing that I hate about TNA, it's like, oh, Daniel Bryan's got a beard, he won the belt. Eric Young, you're getting a push. Let's do it. And then, oh, Seth Rollins has kind of blondish hair. Matt Hardy, you're crazy. Let's bleach some of your hair. It's just it's so, it just reeks of how fucking...
The one thing with the Hardys, though, is that I think what happened with TNA is that TNA went, we don't really have any money to pay any of these guys. We'll just give them some ownership in the company and just go do something. So they gave the Hardys some cameras and sent them to Cameron. And they were like, okay. So they're sitting around doing this stuff. Rebby Sky is a video editor, so she edits all the videos together. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's the biggest damn thing in professional wrestling. You got people doing this delete stuff at Raw. I'm like, okay.
Dude, that whole thing. Here's what I don't know why I do this, but whenever Matt Hardy beats Jeff Hardy, I feel like something bad happened. Like, that's bullshit. That couldn't happen. And, like, I mean, back to, like, when they were both in WWE and they had that whole storyline about how Matt killed his dogs. Oh, wait, no, he didn't kill his dogs. He just lit the house on fire. Oh, wait, he didn't really do it. Whatever, you know. And then he won that match. I'm like, that's fucking not.
I don't like the Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy stupid feuds all the time.
Yeah. It's
Although I do like the fact that this whole thing with Jeff